You know, when we think about business school, we usually picture lecture halls and textbooks, right? Well, what if that's all wrong for the age of AI? What if the classroom isn't a room at all? Today, we're going to look at something pretty radical, a learning expedition that drops students right into one of Europe's biggest tech hubs to learn strategy not from a book, but by living and breathing the ecosystem.
So, where does this all happen? We're heading to Krakow, Poland. This is where the third AI technology learning expedition just wrapped up. And let me tell you, this is not your typical study abroad program. We're talking about a super intense deep dive for students from the prestigious EDHEC Business School. The whole point is to close that gap between what you learn in a classroom and the crazy fast reality of AI strategy.
And something like this doesn't just happen. It's not a fluke. This whole immersive experience has been in the works for years, meticulously designed by its creator, Beata Masor. She's been constantly tweaking it to make sure the program doesn't just teach you about tech, but actually evolves with the tech. That's a huge difference. I mean, just to give you a sense of how intense this is, let's just run through some numbers. It's all crammed into just 4 jam-packed days.
And it's for a really select group. Only 26 students get to go. In that short time, they get over 30 hours of hands-on immersive learning. We're talking zero downtime here.
Okay, but you might be thinking, sure, it's intense, but you could do that anywhere. So why Krakow? Of all places, what makes this historic Polish city the ideal spot, like the perfect living laboratory for the future of tech strategy? Well, it's not just one single thing. It's really this perfect storm, a convergence of a great location, a huge pipeline of talent, and a support system that's literally built to speed up innovation. So yeah, location is definitely part of it. Krakow is right at a major European crossroads. But the real secret sauce? It's the people, the human capital. We're talking 26 universities, making it Poland's second biggest academic hub. And look, that's not just some boring statistic. What that really means is a constant, fresh supply of brilliant engineers, developers, and future founders. Right, and all that talent isn't just floating around in a void. You've got organizations like La French Tech Krakow that create this incredible support network. I mean, look at these numbers. Over 1,200 members, tons of events. They're not just launching companies, they're building a whole community. And that's something these EDHEC students can plug right into from day one. So you've got the perfect city as your stage. But what really makes this whole thing special is how the course itself is designed. It basically throws out the old dusty rulebook for business strategy. The main idea is actually pretty simple to grasp. Think about traditional business strategy. It's rigid, right? Like a blueprint. But the tech world? It's liquid. It's always moving, always changing. This program is built to be that bridge between the two, to teach students how to swim in that constantly shifting, unpredictable current. And how do they do it? Through this really cool 360-degree approach. See, students don't just look at it from one side. They dive into strategy from the viewpoint of a nimble startup. Then they switch gears and look at it from the perspective of a big corporation trying to buy that innovation. And finally, they look at it from the software houses that are building the tools for everybody else. You get the whole picture, soup to nuts. But, theory can only take you so far, right? The real magic of this whole thing, the secret ingredient, is how it completely breaks down the classroom walls. It forces students to get their hands dirty inside the actual ecosystem. And this is what that immersion actually looks like in practice. You can see the planned out academic schedule, sure, but then you see the students out in the wild, so to speak, at networking events, meeting people. The program is just brilliant at weaving these two worlds together. It basically turns the entire city of Krakow into one giant, living campus. And again, this isn't just some textbook exercise. The kind of access these students get is just incredible. They're not just reading about Google or the European Space Agency. They're on site, asking tough questions to the people in charge. They're in workshops, getting hands-on experience with real innovators on the cutting edge. But hey, don't just listen to me. Here's a quote from one of the students, Jack Hughes. He said it was a brilliant way to put theory into action. But what really hit him was the shift in how he viewed leadership, that it's not just about managing your team, it's about empowering a whole ecosystem. That is a really big insight to walk away with. Now, here's the thing. A program that's about technology can't afford to stand still. It has to evolve, just like the industry it's studying. And, well, over the past few years, a pretty big shift has been happening. The program's designer, Beata Masor, puts it perfectly.
She says the shift to focus more on AI wasn't some top-down decision. It just happened naturally. It evolved, mirroring exactly how the Krakow tech scene itself has pivoted to become a major hub for AI. And you can really see that pivot right here. What began as a more general tech strategy course has now sharpened its focus to be AI first. And that's absolutely crucial for making sure it stays relevant for the leaders of tomorrow.
So when you put it all together, the perfect location, the unique course design, the real-world immersion, and that laser focus on AI, what you have is so much more than just a class. It's a whole new model for what it means to build a modern leader. It all comes down to this really powerful concept, something we can call ecosystem immersiveness. The whole idea is that the best learning happens when you're not just a tourist. It's when you're actually embedded inside an innovation hub, soaking up strategy right from the source, from the environment itself. Look, at the end of the day, this is more than just a cool trip or a clever syllabus. What we're looking at here is a potential blueprint for a totally new kind of business education, one that's built from the ground up to create leaders who are genuinely fluent in the language and the strategy of AI. And that leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? As AI completely transforms, well, everything, can we really afford not to teach this way? Can we afford not to use this kind of immersive, ecosystem-based approach to get our next generation of leaders ready? The answer to that question might just define the next decade of business and innovation.